Lo, how the mighty have fallen. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 game companies that fell from grace and lost their mojo.
We've heard about what happened, and we're ready to help.
We could use any supplies you have.
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at various once notable gaming developers and publishers who eventually fell out of favor in the general public and who are now a shadow of their former selves.
Some people think they can outsmart me. Maybe.
Number 10, THQ. THQ was founded in 1989 and was initially focused on toy manufacturing, resulting in its name Toy Headquarters, from which THQ was derived. However, they quickly became a prominent game developing and publishing company that released many notable games throughout the 2000s, including Destroy All Humans, the Darksider series, Red Faction, and the first 3 Saints Row games. The company then faced significant financial troubles at the start of the new decade, and on December 19, 2012, they filed for Chapter 11. Its remaining franchises were sold to various companies, including Nordic Games, who renamed themselves THQ Nordic in 2016.
Any other comments?
Yeah, when you punch, don't throw your shoulders so much.
Shut up, Johnny.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Number 9, LucasArts.
Let's do it again. Maybe later, chum.
There was once a time when LucasArts were the undisputed kings of the adventure genre. They absolutely destroyed the 90s with notable releases like The Secret of Monkey Island, Sam & Max Hit the Road, and Grim Fandango. These titles were a lot of fun, but they were also hilarious and extremely well written, and helped elevate video games in general into something more than a supposedly brainless pastime. The company focused primarily on middling Star Wars titles throughout the 2000s before they were bought by the Walt Disney Company in 2012. Today, the former video game giant employs less than 10 people and functions as a licensor. Number 8, Valve. We hate to beat a dead horse, but Valve really needs to get their act together. The Valve Corporation has given us some of the best games of all time, including Half-Life 2, Counter-Strike, Portal, Team Fortress, and Left 4 Dead. Many of these revolutionized their respective genres and are still enjoyed today as complex and entertaining multiplayer experiences. However, Valve's actual gaming input has been significantly lessened in recent years, as their primary focus now seems to be on technology through Steam and Vive. Their most recent work is a collectible card game based on Dota 2. I think the crowd presentation during the announcement is enough of a comment on that. Number 7, Bungie.
We will stand together. Seize our destiny.
Bungie is known primarily for one thing and one thing only, Halo. However, being known for only one series isn't too bad when said series helped to revolutionize an entire genre and the basic concept of online console gaming. However, Bungie's reputation all but plummeted when they separated from Microsoft and went private. Since then, they've released the Bungie Aerospace project, which is kinda cool, and 2 Destiny games, which many people found not so cool. While the Destiny games received good reviews, they were considered a disappointment in the eyes of many fans, and Bungie has subsequently lost a lot of clout in the gaming community.
Let's get serious, people.
Zavala, this is my serious face. Can't you tell?
Number 6, Atari.
All on the Jaguar system to play Cybermark. Let's see how those beastly graphics and intricate moves that only come from 64 bits of mega...
Atari was founded in 1972 and instantly helped define the very concept of video games and home consoles. Pong is known as one of the first ever arcade games, and the Atari 2600 was the most important gaming console of its time. However, the company faced significant financial troubles following the infamous video game crash of 1983, and a series of poor consoles followed, including the handheld Lynx, which was obliterated by the Game Boy, and the Atari Jaguar. The Atari brand all but disappeared in 1996 when it merged with JTS Incorporated. Today, Atari is focused on social casino gaming and a new emulation machine called the Atari Box, which I guess we'll have to wait for.
More fun and games from Atari.
Number 5, Sega. Like Atari, Sega was once one of the most prolific video game companies on the planet. In the late 80s and early 90s, it was really the only company who could go toe-to-toe with Nintendo in the console market. And the Sega-Nintendo rivalry remains one of the most notable in gaming history. Many of their games, including Virtua Fighter, but especially Sonic the Hedgehog, are some of the most influential games ever. However, their great run ended in the early 2000s with the failure of the Dreamcast, and the company has since shifted its focus to third-party development. While it's still a notable presence in the video game market, Sega is nowhere near the giant it once was. Number 4. EA. Yeah, believe it or not, there was a time when Electronic Arts was not a magnet for immense hatred. The company was founded in 1982 and instantly became a notable developer as they published numerous games and became a behemoth in the sports genre under the EA Sports label. However, a major switch occurred in the mid-2000s. EA was suddenly the subject of numerous controversies, including poor management practices and treatment of its employees, controversial DRM schemes, and lately the implementation of microtransactions and loot boxes. It was declared the worst company in America in 2012 and 2013, and while it publishes many hits every year, it is still viewed in the community as greedy and immoral as a company.
Thank you, ma'am. Hope the landing wasn't too rough.
Been through worse.
Number 3. Rare. It's not often that a video game developer this good comes along. You could say it's a little bit rare. Rare's partnership with Nintendo produced some of the most memorable and influential video games of all time, including but not limited to Donkey Kong Country, Banjo-Kazooie, Perfect Dark, Conker's Bad Fur Day, and GoldenEye 007. That has to be one of the most successful strings of titles in video game history. Then they were bought by Microsoft in 2002, and everything was basically ruined. After numerous disappointments, the co-founders left the company, and Rare was relegated to developing mediocre games for the Kinect. Sea of Thieves might have been a step in the right direction, but it doesn't really seem like it's the full return to form that fans were hoping for. Number 2. Bioware.
You would doom our entire civilization to complete annihilation. And for that, you must die.
When it comes to RPGs, few gaming developers can actually compete with Bioware. They have created some of the greatest RPGs of all time, including Jade Empire, the Mass Effect trilogy, Dragon Age, and perhaps most notably, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, which is often considered to be one of the best games of the 2000s and one of the best Star Wars games ever. However, after the very disappointing ending to Mass Effect 3, the mediocre fan response to Dragon Age Inquisition, and the controversial mess that was Mass Effect Andromeda, Bioware has suddenly found themselves behind the 8 ball. Their upcoming title, Anthem, really could make or break this once acclaimed company.
What did you do?
Mistake.
Number 1. Konami. Konami is undoubtedly one of the greatest and most notable video game companies of all time. They are the ones behind the likes of Castlevania, Metal Gear Solid, Dance Dance Revolution, and Silent Hill, all of which are some of gaming's most popular and influential titles. However, the company has completely fallen apart in recent years due to accusations of horrible employee treatment, the cancellation of Silent Hills, and their feud with Kojima Productions and Hideo Kojima himself. They recently released Metal Gear Survive, a cooperative, zombie Metal Gear game. Because those are words that go together, and I'm sure you can imagine how it turned out. Go check out the review on Mojo Plays. The Konami of old is sadly finished, and that's a damn shame. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.